Although the great German team has been disappointing in the last few major tournaments, having a major international tournament on home soil is a huge advantage, right? The host is most likely to win the games because of, firstly, they'll have 12 players on the pitch, a stacked stadium of fans being the 12th, cheering them on and chanting their names. It can have a huge impact. As legend Jack Charlton once said, "When you came out of the tunnel, the first thing that hit you was the change from darkness to light. And then, a second later, it was the noise. It's like a solid wall, and it either terrified you or made you feel 8 feet tall. God knows what it did to the other team," said former England captain Jack Charlton, talking about playing for his country at Wembley, the ground where his team won their one and only World Cup as the host. The next factor is logistics. Firstly, for the players, the host team is at an advantage because they won't have to travel to another country and can stay in familiar surroundings speaking the same language. They'll be playing in stadiums they're familiar with, where they've played before, maybe even won in, which must be good for their confidence. Furthermore, the families of the players are much easier to sort out too. Players don't have to be worried about where their families are or where they are going to stay, etc. They'll be at home or in a nearby hotel, stress-free. Overall, these reasons result in much less external stress on the home players, in theory leading to a better and more confident performance. But with all of these factors, one would think that many host nations in World Cup and Euros history have won the tournament, but this is actually very far from the truth. History suggests that, in the European Championship, the host advantage is actually not too significant. In fact, in the competition's history, only 3 hosts have won the tournament, and not a single one since France triumphed in 1984. Before them, Italy came out top in 1968, and Spain won the 1964 edition. 3 more have made it to the final on home soil, only to lose, which was Belgium in 1980, Portugal 2004, and France 2016. Statistically, in the last 10 tournaments since 1980, only one nation has won the trophy on home soil, a Michel Platini-inspired France way back in 1984. Surprisingly, France lost as hosts to Portugal 1-0 after extra time in 2016. Now, before that, Portugal had reached the final of their own tournament in 2004, only to be stunned by the surprising package of Greece, who ground their way to a 1-0 win in Lisbon. But one thing is constant: the host nation always underperforms at every Euro tournament. Now, although host nations reaching the semi-final is a more commonplace achievement, they rarely go on to win the tournament. On the 12 occasions that the Euros have been staged in a single country, the hosts have always made at least the semi-finals. Now, with the supposed advantage the host nation has, this is actually quite shocking that only 3 host nations have actually gone on to win the Euro tournaments. The host influence in the tournament has been seen in other aspects to some extent that they have also delivered. Home nations have produced the top or joint top scorer on 7 occasions. François Hott in 1960, Jesus Maria Pereda in 64, Michel Platini in 84, Thomas Brolin in 92, Alan Shearer in 96, Patrick Kluivert in 2000 and Antoine Griezmann in 2016. But despite this, it seems that the hosts, by and large, are cursed. Now, Germany will be willing to shake off the curse associated with the host nation not winning. The Germans are not new to hosting big international tournaments. They were brilliant when they hosted the 2006 FIFA World Cup, and this was the last major international football tournament on German soil, and it was a great outing for the Germans. Now widely known as the Summer Fairy Tale, the tournament remains in the memory as the moment when a unified Germany shook off the shadows of its dark past and displayed a new, modern face to the world. On the field, the German team, coached by Jurgen Klinsmann, overcame dire pre-tournament predictions to make it to the semi-finals. While the host privileges at a major tournament do outweigh the drawbacks on paper, there are still some disadvantages. The biggest one is likely that because the host nation is usually expected to win these tournaments because they're playing on their grounds, well, due to this, a home team is under unnecessary added pressure to do well. Players might feel overwhelmed by this pressure to win on home soil, leading to tight play and stifled creativity. Even coaches can be affected by the pressure. Now, the home advantage can also sometimes breed a false sense of security. Teams might underestimate opponents, leading to a lack of focus and preparation. Brazil's 2014 outing at the World Cup is a perfect example of this, especially their unexpected 7-1 trouncing against Germany in the semi-finals. Hosting a major tournament involves a lot of logistical shuffling. The familiar training routines and team dynamics can be disrupted by media attention, sponsor obligations, and altered schedules. Also, as the hosts are given automatic qualification into the event, they actually haven't had time to qualify or test themselves against other top nations in competitive matches the way their opponents have. This lack of competition is not always the ideal preparation for such a big tournament. All this being said, we can't help but believe that Germany stand a great chance this year, as their team has been revitalised and is looking stacked, not to mention, of course, their excellent new manager. Julian Nagelsmann has been trusted to lead the squad at the 2024 Euros. Although things started badly for him initially, with just one win from his first 4 games, in 2024, the German FA, satisfied with Nagelsmann's work, extended his contract until after the 2026 World Cup, and so fans are expecting big things from him this Euros. One man who will be especially hoping Nagelsmann is the man for the job will be Florian Wirtz, who's one of the best youngsters in the world. His numbers are amazing. The 21-year-old youngster has 22 goal contributions in 32 appearances in the Bundesliga this season. Not only this, he was the standout player for Leverkusen on their way to winning the Bundesliga while going invincible and ending Bayern Munich's 11-year domination of the competition. If Wirtz can play a key role in Germany lifting the Euros trophy, he'll surely be in with a chance of winning the Ballon d'Or this season. Wirtz will be one of the 26 German players picked by Nagelsmann, and the other 25 picks are full of other brilliant young players as well as experienced older talents. Now, a criticism of recent German squads is their defensive records. Remember the 6-0 defeat to Spain in 2020? Well, this time around, Nagelsmann has the blessing of being able to call up 2 of the most informed centre-backs out there, Antonio Rudiger and Jonathan Tah. Joshua Kimmich is another German defender who's been a wonder in recent years. Kimmich can play as both a right-back and a midfielder. It's been said that, as a right-back, Kimmich is actually one of the best in the world. Michael Ballack said he's proven that he can play in both positions. For me, he's only world-class as a right-back, because that's the way he grew up playing football. Another German youngster in great form is Jamal Musiala. Musiala is currently also one of the best young players in the world. As stated by Lothar Matthäus, he is the Messi of the future and has a great individual performance for Bayern this year and will be looking to cement his place as one of the best midfielders this tournament before kicking on with Bayern next season. Then in front of goal on paper, well, they don't have prolific goal scorers. However, Kai Havertz has been in fine form, especially in 2024. If they can get him scoring goals and firing on all cylinders, like he has been for Arsenal, then they could be a force to reckon with. Others, such as Deniz Undav and Leroy Sané, who've also enjoyed fruitful seasons for Stuttgart and Bayern, will for sure be in Nagelsmann's plans as well. In front of the goal may be the weakest part of the team on paper, but with the form of some of their attackers and the simply excellent midfield behind them, including players we've mentioned, as well as the likes of Captain Gundogan, Robert Andrich, and of course Toni Kroos, they should have no problem getting the ball in the back of the net. Germany did not partake in the European Championship qualifying rounds. Rather, they played a number of friendlies on their way to the tournament. Now, although their friendly matches did not present them as outstanding, their last wins against France and the Netherlands show that Germany are ready to capture the world. So, the scary truth about the host nations of major tournaments is that these teams rarely win it. However, this Germany team is amazing, with some of the most informed players in the world at the moment. Players from Leverkusen, Stuttgart and Real Madrid all in the squad and all firing. So the stage is set, and Germany are ready to perform.